Remember the silence? After the roar of the stadiums faded? For 10 years, we've lived in that silence, watching 5 incredible solo stories unfold. We've seen Harry redefine cool, Lewis champion rock and roll authenticity, Niall craft perfect pop anthems, Liam explore new sounds, and Zayn create atmospheric R&B masterpieces. Their individual journeys have been amazing to witness, but it's also given us something else, a blueprint, a roadmap to the greatest what if in modern pop culture. What if the hiatus was just a break? What if, in 2025, we weren't talking about a reunion, but were instead anticipating their 10th anniversary tour for their 9th studio album? This isn't just nostalgia. This is a forensic look at a parallel universe, using the evidence of their solo work, the trends of the last decade, and the undeniable DNA of the biggest band on the planet. We are going to reconstruct the last 10 years of One Direction. We are going to hear the albums they never made, see the tours they never played, and understand how they would have not just survived, but absolutely dominated the music world of 2025. This is the story of the decade we never got. Let's begin. So how do we build this alternate reality? We start with the evidence they left us. Their solo careers aren't just separate paths, they are the pieces of a puzzle. Imagine them not as departures, but as contributions to a greater whole. Harry's Fine Line and Harry's House gave us sophisticated, genre-bending pop. That sound becomes the new, mature texture of the band, the sleek, cool exterior. Louis' Walls and Faith in the Future delivered anthemic, guitar-driven rock. That is the beating heart, the stadium-filling energy that always was their core. Niall's Heartbreak Weather and The Show provided flawless, heartfelt pop rock. That's the infectious melody, the undeniable hook that makes every song stick. Liam's El Pone explored modern R&B and hip-hop rhythms. That element brings the contemporary edge, the rhythmic pulse that keeps them on trend. And Zayn's Mind of Mine and Icarus Falls, that's the soul, the atmospheric depth, the breathtaking vocals that add a layer of complexity and mystery. Together, these aren't 5 solo acts. This is the toolkit. This is the sound of One Direction in 2025. But a band is more than just the sum of its sounds. It's about the bond. And that's the most compelling part of this story. The hiatus, in our timeline, forced them to grow up apart. But in this one, they grew up together. Imagine the arguments in the Studio Louis, fighting for a raw rock edge, Zayn layering in a complex vocal run, Harry suggesting a last-minute key change. Picture Niall, the glue, diffusing the tension with a joke, and Liam, the perfectionist, meticulously noting down every idea. We saw glimpses of this brotherhood in the early days, but a decade later, it's unbreakable. They're not just bandmates. They're 5 brothers who survived the absolute peak of global fame and came out the other side, not fractured, but fortified. In 2025, their interviews are legendary, a chaotic, hilarious, and deeply affectionate symphony of inside jokes and finished sentences. They are the only ones who truly understand the unique madness they lived through, and that shared history is the invisible engine of everything they create. But their influence in 2025 stretches far beyond the charts. They aren't just recording artists, they are cultural architects. Imagine Lewis's passion for football evolving into a global charity foundation, with 1D hosting the biggest celebrity matches on the planet. Picture Harry's fashion influence not just as a solo trendsetter, but as a collective force. The band's partnership with a major luxury house, redefining red carpet style for a generation. Envision Niall's everyman charm, making them the faces of a relatable, mega brand, maybe a worldwide sportswear giant. Their faces on billboards from Tokyo to Times Square. Think of Zayn's mysterious aura fueling a million fan theories with every album rollout, each music video dissected for hidden meanings. And see Liam's dedication to the craft leading them to launch their own label, signing and mentoring the next wave of talent. They aren't just reacting to culture, they are building it. From the metaverse to the big screen, their presence is inescapable, a testament to a decade spent not just making music, but building an empire. And yet, with all the global domination, the sold-out world tours, and the cultural milestones, the core of their power remains unchanged. It's the same secret weapon they had from the very beginning, an unbreakable, electric connection with you. In 2025, the Directioner fandom isn't a relic of the past. It's a case study in longevity. It's a multi-generational community. It's the original fans, now in their late 20s and 30s, sharing this universe with a whole new wave of teenagers who discovered them through TikTok deep dives and their parents' playlists. Their concerts are a time capsule and a forward-looking celebration all at once. It's the raw, joyful power of a shared experience that transcends language and borders. They didn't just survive the changing landscape of music, they mastered it by never forgetting that the most important trend, the only algorithm that truly matters, is the human heart. They stayed together, and in doing so, they gave the world a decade of pure, unadulterated joy. That is the legacy of the decade we never got. A testament to the enduring power of 5 voices that were always meant to be heard as one. Let's start with Harry Styles. In our world, he became the rock star, but in this one, he's the undeniable frontman. The Mick Jagger of his generation, but with a warmth Jagger never possessed. His solo exploration into psychedelic pop and soft rock didn't divert from 1D, it elevated it. He brings the artistic ambition, the gender-fluid fashion that becomes a signature part of the band's identity. He's the one giving interviews about the concept behind their albums, convincing the others to film a 10-minute black and white art house video for a deep cut. But crucially, he has the band as his anchor. The constant touring and collaborative process satisfy his creative needs. So his acting career is more selective. Maybe a coveted villain role in a Bond film, not a leading man in a slew of indie dramas. He gets the best of both worlds, the artistic credibility and the brotherhood of the band. He's happier, more grounded, and because of that, his performances are even more magnetic. Louis Tomlinson. In our timeline, he's the champion of the fans, the underdog who fought for his rock and roll dreams. Here, he is the unwavering heart of the band. His songwriting, always the backbone of their biggest hits, is now fully recognized. He's the associate producer on every album, the driving force behind their rock-edge sound. The band provides the massive platform his solo music deserved, but never quite reached on the same scale. He gets to write those massive, heart-wrenching stadium ballads and hear them sung back to him by 80,000 people night after night. The loss of his mother and sister is still an unimaginable pain, but he weathers it surrounded by his 4 brothers. Not alone, the band becomes his sanctuary. He's not Louis from One Direction. He's Louis, the core of One Direction. The respect is immense, and the creative control he always craved is finally his. Niall Horan, the charming guitar-strumming heartthrob who never lost his smile. In this continuity, Niall's role is more crucial than ever. He is the band's anchor, its constant source of positive energy and melodic genius. While Harry pushes artistic boundaries and Louis drives the rock sound, Niall is the keeper of the pop flame. He ensures every album has those undeniable feel-good hits, the modern equivalents of What Makes You Beautiful and Story of My Life, that keep them dominating mainstream radio. His solo work proved his knack for crafting perfect pop songs, and within the band, that talent is funneled into global smashes. He's the diplomatic core, the one who smooths over creative disagreements with a joke and a pint. He doesn't crave a solo identity because the band perfectly channels his strengths. He gets to be the beloved stadium-filling rock star he was always meant to be, surrounded by his best friends, without the pressure of carrying a solo career on his shoulders. His life is a balance of insane global fame and a surprising sense of normalcy, all thanks to the unit he calls home. Liam Payne, the performer with the powerhouse voice and a drive for perfection. In our world, his path has been searching, navigating the pressures of a solo career. But here, within the structure of the band, he finds his perfect niche. Liam becomes the architectural force behind their modern sound. He's deeply involved in the production, the one who brings in cutting-edge producers and helps blend their signature style with the latest trends from hip-hop and electronic music. His solo exploration of R&B isn't a departure. It's a vital ingredient he brings back to the group. He's the one ensuring their music sounds fresh on streaming platforms, crafting the viral TikTok moments, and designing the complex choreography for their live shows. The band provides him with a supportive framework that channels his intense ambition positively. He's not lost in the search for a solo hit. He's celebrated as a key architect of the biggest group's evolution. He thrives on the camaraderie and the shared goal, his voice providing the powerful, polished lead on their most contemporary tracks. And finally, Zayn Malik, the enigmatic phantom whose voice was always their secret weapon. His departure was the fracture that defined our timeline. But here, he stays. And his presence changes everything. Zayn provides the band's depth, its mystery, its cool factor. He is the artist who pushes them into more alternative, moody R&B territories. He's not always on every talk show. He might skip a photo shoot, and that only adds to his allure. The band gives him the creative outlet he needs without the overwhelming pressure of being a solo star. He can retreat into the group when he needs to. His contributions are monumental, but on his own terms. His iconic voice is the harmony that elevates every chorus, the haunting ad-lib that gives you chills. He gets to be the artiste he always wanted to be, but with a built-in support system. He's happier, healthier, and his unparalleled talent remains an integral, breathtaking part of the One Direction tapestry. Now, let's talk about the music itself, the albums that defined this decade. Their sixth album, released in 2017, was The Bridge. Titled Horizons, it blended the familiar guitar pop with newfound maturity, led by singles like Louis' rock-driven Echoes and Harry's wistful Golden Hour. But it was their seventh album, 2019's Neon Hearts, that marked their true evolution. This was their synth-pop masterpiece, inspired by 80s new wave, but filtered through a modern lens. Zayn's falsetto soared on the moody midnight sky, while Niall's hooks on Electric Love made it the song of the summer. Then came 2021's Fault Lines, a raw, introspective record born from the pandemic's isolation. Acoustic, vulnerable, and hailed as their OK computer. And now, in 2024, they've just released their ninth studio album, Spectrum. It's the culmination of everything rock anthems, pop perfection, R&B swagger, and artistic ambition. It's not just an album, it's a statement. A declaration that after all these years, there's still the defining voice of a generation. And with every album came a tour. But these weren't just tours, they were global events. The On the Road Again tour in 2018 shattered records, playing to over 3 million fans. But the Neon Nights tour in 2020? It was a theatrical spectacle, lasers, holograms, and a stage that transformed into a digital dreamscape. Then, after the quiet introspection of Fault Lines, they returned in 2022 with the Homecoming tour. It was stripped back, emotional, and focused on the music and the connection. And now, The current Spectrum World Tour is their most ambitious yet. A 3-hour show that journeys through every era of their sound, from the boyish charm of Up All Night to the refined artistry of their latest work. It's a celebration of endurance, a thank you to the fans who grew with them, and proof that live music is an experience nothing can replicate. Beyond the music, their influence reshaped the fashion world. But not as 5 individual styles, as a collective force. Imagine the power of their red carpet appearances. Harry's flamboyant suits and pearls, perfectly balanced by Zayn's sleek minimalist haute couture. Louis' rock and roll band tees and leather jackets, contrasted with Niall's timeless premium casual wear. And Liam, always sharp, bridging the gap with tailored streetwear. Together, they became a walking mood board, a phenomenon that designers clamored to dress. They didn't follow trends, they set them. In 2024, their collaboration isn't with one brand, but a legacy. They launched their own label, 1D Wear, a line that embodies each of their personalities from high-end formal wear to accessible, iconic streetwear. It's a billion-dollar empire that proves their influence extends far beyond the chords of a guitar. They didn't just become rock stars. They became style icons for a generation that learned to express itself through their fearless choices. This level of fame came with a profound sense of responsibility. Using their platform for good wasn't a PR move. It was woven into their DNA. Louis' passion for football evolved into the Tomlinson Trophy, a global charity football tournament that has raised millions for children's hospices and mental health awareness, a lasting tribute to his mother and sister. Niall, becoming a global ambassador for UNICEF, focused on education for children in crisis zones, often visiting projects personally. Harry's Love on Tour initiative partnered with local charities in every city they played, funding community projects and LGBTQ+ centers. Liam used his platform to advocate for mental health, launching a foundation that provides free therapy sessions for young men struggling in silence. And Zayn, though private, made monumental anonymous donations to music and arts programs in underfunded schools, ensuring others had the opportunities he did. Their legacy isn't just in charts, it's in the lives they changed. In a world where One Direction never left, the entire pop landscape looks different. The so-called boy band revival of the late 2010s wasn't a wave of new acts trying to fill a void. It was a direct response to the titans who never stepped down. Groups like BTS and Why Don't We aren't successors. They're contemporaries, and sometimes rivals. Imagine the friendly chart battles, the shared stages at award shows, the mutual respect born from shared experience. But it's not all competition. Picture Harry and Louis mentoring a young group on a reality show, or Niall collaborating with K-pop stars on a global smash hit. The band's longevity redefined what a pop group could be, inspiring a generation of artists to prioritize brotherhood and artistic growth over fleeting fame. They didn't kill the competition, they elevated it, creating a more vibrant and interesting musical world for everyone. And after a decade together, the world finally gets an unfiltered look behind the curtain. In 2024, they release a documentary simply titled Us. But this isn't like This Is Us. There's no gloss, no manufactured drama. It's a raw, intimate, and often hilarious look at the last 10 years. We see the arguments in the studio, the exhaustion on the road, the quiet moments of support after personal tragedies. We see Zayn quietly helping Louis through his grief, Niall lightening the mood with a stupid joke, Harry and Liam debating a production choice for hours. It's not a story of perfect harmony, but of 5 flawed brothers who chose each other again and again. The film doesn't just break streaming records, it redefines the band for a new generation, not as teen idols, but as the most resilient and real band of their time. A common fear was that the band would stifle their individual creativity, but the opposite became true. The security of the group gave each member a safe harbor to explore their passions. Instead of solo albums, we got side projects. Louis launched his own record label, signing and producing raw rock talent with the full backing of 1D's resources. Niall hosted an intimate acoustic streaming series from his home, interviewing singer-songwriters and playing covers. Harry directed avant-garde music videos for the band's deeper cuts, his artistic vision fully realized. Liam started a popular podcast breaking down the production of modern hits, interviewing top producers. And Zayn, on his terms, would occasionally release a surprise EP of atmospheric poetry set to music. These weren't distractions from the band. They were nutrients that fed back into it, making One Direction not just a band, but a creative empire. So, what is the legacy of One Direction in 2025? They are the exception to every rule. They are the boy band that never died. They are the group that proved you could evolve from teenagers into men, from pop stars into artists, without breaking apart. They are the proof that brotherhood is stronger than fame. They didn't just give us a soundtrack to our lives. They gave us a model for resilience, for friendship, and for growing up in the spotlight with grace and authenticity. The silence never came. The music never stopped. And in this timeline, the roar of the crowd is as loud as it was that very first night. Because some stories are too good to end. And what does the future hold? If the last 10 years have taught us anything, it's that this band's potential is limitless. We're not talking about a final victory lap. We're talking about a new chapter. Imagine them curating their own music festival, bringing together the artists they've inspired. A residency in Las Vegas that redefines what a residency can be. Not a nostalgia act, but an ever-changing theatrical experience. A film studio green-lighting a biopic with their full involvement, telling their true story. Perhaps even a broader impact. Louis moving into sports management, Niall starting a music school, Harry launching a design house. The music will always be the core, but their influence will continue to expand into every corner of culture. The five of them, together, are a catalyst for creativity. The next decade isn't about sustaining their success. It's about redefining what success even means for a band that has already done it all. And honestly, we wouldn't want to experience it with anyone else. But let's step back into our reality, the one we actually lived. Because the true story of One Direction is not one of a decade together, but of a meteoric rise, a shocking pause, and 5 incredible evolutions. In 2015, at the absolute height of their fame, they announced a hiatus. The word itself felt like a gentle letdown, a band-aid on a wound that felt, to many fans, deeply permanent. They were exhausted. 5 years of non-stop recording, touring, and living under a microscope had taken its toll. They needed to breathe, to remember who they were outside of the phenomenon known as One Direction. What was meant to be a short break became a fork in the road. Zayn had already left earlier that year, a fracture that signaled the immense pressure within. And one by one, the other 4 members stepped into solo studios, not to make a 1D album, but to discover their own voices. The hiatus wasn't a plot twist, it was a human necessity. It was 5 young men choosing to prioritize their well-being over the machine, a decision that took immense courage. And so, they embarked on the brave, uncertain path of going solo. We watched Harry Styles transform into a Grammy-winning icon, a rock star embraced by the fashion and film worlds. His music a blend of nostalgic rock and vulnerable pop. We saw Louis Tomlinson champion his rock and roll heart, building a fiercely loyal fan base who adore him for his raw authenticity and dedication to the fans. We cheered for Niall Horan, whose undeniable gift for melody resulted in smash hits and albums that felt like catching up with an old friend, reliable, warm, and brilliantly crafted. we followed Liam Payne as he navigated the complexities of the music industry, experimenting with different sounds and being open about his personal struggles, a testament to his resilience. And we witnessed Zayn Malik, the Phantom, release groundbreaking, genre-bending R&B albums from a distance, his mysterious aura and unparalleled voice remaining a powerful force. Their individual journeys weren't a betrayal of the band. They were the fulfillment of its promise. 5 unique, powerful voices that we were lucky to get to know on a deeper level. So, who are they now? Away from the stage lights, their personal lives, though fiercely guarded, paint a picture of men who've chosen peace and purpose. Louis Tomlinson is, first and foremost, a devoted father. His son, Freddie, is his entire world. He's spoken openly about how fatherhood grounded him, giving him a focus beyond the chaos of fame. He remains incredibly close to his sisters and is a pillar of strength for his family, a role forged through unimaginable loss. He's the rock star dad, balancing tour life with school runs, his life a testament to finding normalcy in the extraordinary. Niall Horan is the grounded one. He's often back in Ireland, playing golf, catching up with childhood friends, and seemingly avoiding the Hollywood whirlwind. He's the guy who bought his parents a house, who values normalcy above all else. His personal life is refreshingly low-key, a pint at the local pub, a football match with friends. He's the member who seems most unchanged by the fame, a testament to his strong character and the values he grew up with. Liam Payne, a member of the legendary group One Direction, has tragically passed away, leaving millions of fans around the world in shock and mourning. His death came as a sudden blow to the music industry and to those who grew up with his songs and found inspiration in his work. Despite such an early end, Liam will be remembered as a talented artist, a man with a kind heart and a bright charisma, whose music will continue to live on and touch the hearts of listeners. Harry Styles is famously private. While his professional life is a whirlwind of movies and fashion, his personal life remains his own. He values his close-knit group of friends and family above all, fiercely protecting his inner circle from the public eye. He's created a life where he can be Harry, not Harry Styles, a balancing act few manage with such grace. Zayn Malik is the most enigmatic. He lives a quiet life, primarily focused on raising his daughter, Kai, with Gigi Hadid. He's spoken about finding solace in fatherhood and the peace of a life away from the spotlight. His priority is his family and his art, creating music on his own terms, in his own time. Their stories are no longer intertwined daily, but the bond of shared experience remains. They are 5 men who shared a life-changing chapter and are now writing their own stories as fathers, partners, sons, and artists on their own terms. 10 years, a decade. In the grand scheme of things, it's a blink. But for us, for them, it was an eternity packed into a moment. We witnessed a supernova 5 stars that collided and created a light so bright it defined a generation. And when that light seemed to splinter, we watched in awe as each piece charted its own course across the universe, burning just as brilliantly alone as they did together. The story of One Direction was never about a forever that ended. It was about a moment that forever changed everything. It changed music. It changed fashion. It changed how the world saw boy bands. Most importantly, it changed us. It taught us the unbreakable power of friendship, the courage to evolve, and the strength it takes to choose yourself. We got 2 miracles for the price of 1. The earth-shattering phenomenon of 5 voices becoming one, and the breathtaking privilege of watching those 5 voices discover their own unique songs. The roar of the crowd may have faded from a constant scream to a cherished echo, but my God, what an echo at Island. It's in every chord Harry plays, every anthem Louis writes, Every melody Niall sings, every beat Liam produces, every note Zayn breathes into existence, it's in us. In the friendships forged in those frenzied years, in the courage we found to be ourselves, just as they did. So this is not a goodbye, it's a thank you. Thank you for the chaos. Thank you for the joy. Thank you for the music that was the soundtrack to our coming of age. The chapter may be closed, but the story is forever etched into the fabric of who we are. One Direction may be a moment in time, but for everyone who was there, it was everything. And that never ends.